Hello, we're
Yay!
live. Yay.
Yay! Welcome to the Demon Plague. My name is James Intricasso. I'm your dungeon master. I go by he, him. This is a fun D&D show where great, fun, sunny, great things happen. So we are super excited to be here with you today, and let's go around the table, introduce yourself and the character you're playing. Rudy Basso, let's start with you.
Hey, I'm Rudy Basso. I also go by he, him. I am playing Rain Bowie, the human monk, who, yeah, that's it. Trying to make sure no more demon plague destroys the city that he's in currently, which might happen. Woo!
And your partner in crime this week, Robert Aducci. Robert, who are you and who are you playing?
Yeah, I'm Robert Aducci, he, him, and I'm playing Torsten Ailhand, a wizard cleric of Eldath.
Excellent, excellent. And Lauren, we're splitting the party this week, and you will be going off in a different direction. Who are you and who are you playing?
I'm Lauren. You might know me as Obo Crazy Online. I am playing Rock, the Erakoka Rogue. And so I'm really appreciating the Hawkman picture that's behind Robert today. I don't know if I've ever noticed that before, but yeah, super cool.
Eva,
I am a character go by she, her, and we're fine. It's fine. Everyone splits the party. It happens all the time. It just makes sense.
It just makes sense to put 18 miles between yourselves.
Yeah.
It's going to be great.
It'll be fine. Me and the healer, we don't need to be in the same area.
And TK, who are you and who are you playing?
It's me. It's TK. I go by they, them, and I'm playing Isabel Halfback, I guess level 9 now, half-orc fighter. It's very fun. Isabel and Rock are going on an adventure together to visit my daughter-in-law.
Oh, excellent. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, to visit your daughter-in-law and to chop up a dragon corpse.
Yeah, to visit my daughter-in-law's potions.
That's right. That's right. So, very exciting. You are on your way to Fort Frostfell. But before we get started with all of that, first, I want to direct you to look above my head where we are taking donations for you to help out this wonderful party, or for you to give me some failures like the amazing Josh Long, who's done it again. Thank you, Josh Long, for the failure. That means I have 4 in the bank.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, yes, enough to make the whole party fail something once. Excellent. Although you're separated, so maybe I could make... well, we'll see how it goes.
You wouldn't give us the demon plague, would you? That'd be pretty lame.
Would it be lame?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Demon Plague Erakoka could look pretty badass.
We already killed
I'm
one.
just saying.
Cold-blooded.
Let's just
I
put it
kind of
this
want
way.
one of us to get it and then hide it from the rest.
I wouldn't give you all the demon plague.
Give us 75%.
Gotta have
of
some-
it.
I'd rather you give us all or none. That's what Rudy says.
We get
Man,
the demon plague and we show up at Ralakai's like, look, man, we changed our plans.
I caught like the third hand demon plague over the weekend. It's not as good as bad as like the first hand demon plague, but it was still pretty bad.
It's like con cred.
That
Like
is
the flu,
excellent.
except with protrusions.
Single
Right, it's
boil.
the B strain of the demon plague.
Exactly.
It's the devil plague. It's close.
Yeah.
Awful.
Listen, I got a shot for the demon plague, but this was the other strain of
Yes,
it.
it's
It just
flu.
gonna happen. It's just gonna happen.
It's just like method fever.
So if you also are watching this show and you see a moment that you think is fun or interesting or hilarious, let us know about it. You can tweet to us on Twitter. Or you can let us know through Twitch. If that clip that you pick ends up on D&D News, you could win a PDF copy of the Demon Plague, which is a level 1 through 20 adventure we're playing right now. So last time on the Demon Plague, the terrible half-undead, half-demon Valak attacked Tomar's Crossing. You then called a village meeting after dealing with the Valak, where, long story short, you arrested Village Master Bajalin and Counselor Kalinis Birthwitch. You then spoke with Ferii the Wise, a druid ghost who has dealt with the demon plague in her past. And you began to hatch a plan to kill Zancrown the plague demon imprisoned beneath the earth with the help of a ritual that she and her ghost druid friends know. Rock and Isabel are headed off to Fort Frostfell, aka Fort Kickass, to grab some of the components needed for this ritual, while Rain and Torsten are staying in the village to see if anyone who was infected with the demon plague becomes a Valak. And also to see if there is anyone infected with the demon plague. So
spoilers, I guess.
maybe not. Maybe just me, poor reading comprehension skills.
Bad poor reading. It happens, even to DMs.
It does. So, it is bright and early the next morning after you have spoken to Fairy Eye the Wise. You are gathered outside the Kick and Punch-atorium where Rock and Isabel are getting ready to leave. Rock is planning on flying. Isabel, you are planning on taking a riding horse with you. Which horse are you planning on taking?
Dusk.
Okay.
I mean, of course.
All
Dusk.
right.
Sorry, I'm sorry. I know you have to edit this out later. I just wanted it to be. Never mind. I'm sorry.
You just needed it to peak.
I'm
as much as
boosting the
possible.
volume on that.
Put a little
Gain.
echo effect behind it.
Dusk, dusk, dusk.
Reverb.
No surprise, you are taking Dusk.
Dusk.
As you are preparing to leave the village and make your way the 18 miles to Fort Kickass, Pauline Sandalwood comes strolling up to and says, well, I heard that you all are on your way out for a little visit to Fort Frostfell, and I thought I might come with you if you can let bygones be bygones.
Bye.
Well, I need to see the rats that you captured for me.
Yeah, okay. Go get your own horse, though, because you're not going to want to be on the back of Isabel's horse. That's Dusk.
It's dusk.
Oh, I don't need a horse, but thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Because she's a werewolf and she'll run on her werewolf legs. I scream from upstairs out a window.
I didn't want to assume.
I was literally just thinking. She's a werewolf.
I am not a werewolf. And she turns into a giant eagle at that point.
Were eagle.
Oh.
Rock may have mixed feelings about Palmine and everything she's done, but she cannot help when she turns into a giant eagle to look over and be like, not hey.
Are the witch. Yeah.
She is also a very eagle, too.
Yeah. Isabel just like roll her eyes, just like.
Have fun.
Old lady fight. Old lady fight round 2.
I won the last one. I think I won the last one. She probably did, but I definitely did.
So she turns into an eagle, and Rock was literally gonna like give her we're gonna go here, and then we're only gonna stay overnight and come back the next day, and blah 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 blah. But as soon as she turns into eagle, she's like, "All right, well, she'll just have to follow then."
So she follows, and as she does, she drops Torsten into your hands, a small piece of parchment that's rolled up like a scroll into your hands.
Okay, I will check it out.
And it is a copy of like a decree that is going around the village, a little notice for everybody to read that says, in light of recent events, the election has been moved up, and the date is 9 days from now. The election will be happening.
All right.
So,
And it
you've
was
got that.
10 days for the symptoms to show for the demon plague.
Don't quarantine them. We need the votes.
Well, I think it was up to 10 days.
Up
It was
to,
like one of
okay,
those
yeah.
where like if by day 10 they haven't shown any symptoms, but they could show symptoms sooner.
Sure. Yeah.
Send out early ballots right now.
Yeah.
Send them out.
Absentee ballot.
Tommy's gone. Send them. We need the votes. We need the votes.
Ferry, I would have told you that those who are weaker, such as the elderly or children or people who might already be sick for some reason, often advance faster.
Gotcha.
with it.
Well,
Like
kids can't vote, so that's
Yeah,
not really
kids
an
can't
issue.
vote.
for us.
Just about to say that. What's
and
our
old people are just going to
alignment?
vote for the establishment.
Yeah,
so-
exactly.
They
We don't
really
want their
will.
votes.
Yeah, they'll vote for Bajalin.
He's not on the ballot anymore. They'll try. They might write him in, but he's
he
not
on
on the
the
ballot anymore.
Is he a write-in candidate to Mars Crossing?
I guess anyone can be a write-in
I
candidate.
guess we can.
Watch Rock just steal this election.
Optimus Prime. It'll be a
So-
dog. It'll be Dusk.
But everyone will be happy because it's
I'm not opposed to Dusk being on the village council.
Dusk has a very good economic platform.
How about Wind? Wind will win.
Wind
I'm
and
sorry.
Dusk and
Yes,
that
yes.
that big dog that
Yeah.
Kalinus has. Okay.
Yeah. Must
We're
be.
being very silly today.
I
I
apologize.
love it. I
I've
love
had
it.
so much
So-
caffeine.
So, as you then all, Isabel, your horse, Dusk, takes off with you on its back, gallantly riding through the village of Tomar's Crossing, Isabel's hair waving in the wind beautifully, and making your way. It's super majestic. And you make your way. Rock is soaring through the air, giant eagle at your side, as you begin to make your way in the direction of Fort Kickass. Meanwhile, Torsten and Rain, what is your plan here? What are you doing while they are gone? I know you want to stay in town to watch stuff, but do you have anything in particular that you want to do?
I'm gonna go look at look at the fort the old the Bastion Knights had, and kind of see if something else happens. They make some sort of plan that people could go get in there. Also, just kind of on a probably twice a day basis, depending on how long they're gone, go and check out the people that maybe were maybe that saw the Velak, just in case start looking for symptoms, basically.
Yeah.
Sure, yeah.
I'm
and there's
I'm shaking everybody's hand to see who has a tight, strong grip, because as I recall, one of these symptoms is they suddenly get really strong. Maybe doing a little think fast and tossing like something relatively heavy at them. No, I'm not
Sure.
really doing that, but yeah, I don't know. It's kind of hard to nonchalantly or subtly figure out if somebody's really strong all of a sudden. So
All right, so both of you can make either an intelligence investigation check or a wisdom medicine check with advantage, because you're really taking your time doing this and you have the aid of each other kind of while it's going on. So pick your poison, make the check, and we'll also talk about the fort in the meantime. So back at the fort where the Knights of the Last Bastion were set up, that then became a makeshift prison, that then the Velak came and messed up a little bit for everybody, and now is where Bajalin and Kalinus are imprisoned. You are able to make your way there, and Rosalie Shortmania meets you at the gate and immediately lets you in, Torsten, and lets you sort of check around. You can see the fort itself is actually a pretty well-made fort, given that it was thrown together, in a couple months' time. So, the walls are sturdy. The fences were broken, and it looks like a bunch of the guards were killed. But the door has already been replaced that the Velak broke through. And there's a bunch of locks and like a big heavy sliding bar that goes over it. And right now, Bajalin and Kalinus occupy two very small rooms, and there's a couple other rooms. It looks like it's a pretty decent fort.
All right. Well, I just want to look to see what needs to be repaired and whatnot, and maybe get whoever is a local carpenter or whatever to kind of start doing repairs.
You do know a local carpenter. His name is Summit Skullcleaver.
aha.
That's right. So I'll talk to Summit about that.
Okay, cool.
So I would like to do something, because TK just
Yes.
had an excellent idea, which is that I would like to hold classes at the Punch and Kickatorium to reopen the fighting gym as a
Nice.
means to see if anyone is suddenly really strong. And I'm in particular going to invite some of the people that saw or fought the Velok and ask them to speak about what it was like fighting the Velok. Just because I definitely want them here. Maybe a little disingenuous to ask them to speak, but that's the plan. And then we'll do, like lifting, strength exercises specifically. We'll warm up with some strength exercises every day and see if anyone like 7-year-old Jimmy's lifting a 50-pound kettlebell or whatever. That'll be a red flag. So
sure, yeah. So that's I love that. That's awesome. And are these classes free that you're offering?
Yeah.
Okay. So yes,
It's
I
for
think
the good of the town,
Exactly,
right? See everybody
yes.
come and learn from each
Self-defense classes.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's
Well-
out of
Delicious
the kindness of your heart.
Yeah, you can have the people who did fight Velox as like sort of junior instructors.
Yes,
so
exactly,
They can give
yeah.
people tips on how to fight Velok in case more come out.
Yeah. Plus, we're all super rich. It's not like I need anything. It's not like I need money, right? We're all really rich. I haven't spent a
Nope.
dime on anything.
I have no money.
Oh, really? Where'd all your money go?
Into inscribing spells into my spellbook.
Oh, that's right. You need that stuff. I just need
Yeah.
my left hand and my right hands.
Yeah.
Can we retro something real quick then, because the Rock has 194 gold for reasons. Cause she never picks anything up, but like Torsten, if you are like, oh, if this is something you want to do, she'll just hand you 100 gold and be like, well, here, I don't need this.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome.
So yeah, before I go, I was just like, all right, for off,
Thank
here,
you.
gold. And then
I
just,
can't believe I have like 200 gold. I'm just looking here like I never used it.
Yeah. I'll pay
I'm not
some pay some local folk to help clear out the fort as well. I'll give them 20 gold.
Wow. Okay.
I'm sure
yeah.
that
I mean,
hires a bunch.
Yeah, that does hire quite a few people, probably about 10. Some of the volunteers for free to help out, as do many other people too, So some of this sort of able to lead people around that you've hired and get them working on projects and stuff. And the fort is being fixed up. And also, given the fact that the town was just attacked and how helpless people felt, and the fact that your classes are free, Rain, you bring a large number of people to town, both those who tried to fight Velok and those who did not are showing up for lessons.
And also, Lauren had a great idea. I'm going to rename it to Thor's Punching Kickatorium.
Gotcha. Dedicated to Thor. Okay,
Yes.
excellent. So at the moment, both you and Torsten should have inspiration. And
And I rolled a 24 on my medicine check because I was a creepy hermit, so I have a lot of points in medicine.
gotcha. Torsten, what about you? What did you get on your?
My medicine, wow, I rolled an 18, so that's a 20. But also, interestingly, I was like, oh, it's a new day. I'm going to roll my portents. So I rolled my portents, and I rolled a 2 and a 6. And then I went to look at my notes, and it looks like I rolled them last time. And what did I roll? A 2 and a 6.
Whoa.
Oh, you had a portent for your portent.
Right?
Incept a portent.
Yeah. Except the portent, exactly. So I rolled a 20 for my medicine.
Okay, sure. So while you two are doing your thing, so Rain, let's go to you first. Rain, you're giving your class at the Kick and Punchatorium. A bunch of people get up and speak and talk about kind of how terrified they were.
Oh.
And how scary it was and how they had to fight anyway. Like people are like, but then I thought about the village and that sort of thing. One person who goes by Baobab.
500 bits.
For me to mispronounce your name. So it's actually Baobab gets up, and Baobab is standing there, and she says, I was fighting the demon. I was alongside my compatriots, and Kadra had fallen. It looked like the Velok was standing over her body, getting ready to kill her. And I looked at right in the eye. And at that moment, I knew that I had to stand up for what was right. And that is when I hurled my spear into its chest. It distracted her, and I was able to lead the monster away. I didn't kill it, but eventually you came in, Rain, with Torsten and Rock and Isabel, and you killed it, and before it was able to harm anyone else. So we can all do our part.
Cool. Okay, I applaud everyone. I applaud, and I go, "You are truly a hero of the town." And I hand her a medal that I have made. I've had several smelted, and I give it to her, and I say, "Wear this with pride around town, so everyone knows that you are a hero, and we know you have the demon plague."
She looks at it and says, "Oh, I'm the people who died are the real heroes. This feels so
Agreed. No,
garish."
that's not my intention whatsoever. I backpedal immediately and gets. You're right. You don't need medals to be a hero. Agreed. But they look so darn cool, and I put one on, and I go, "Yeah, for heroes. I'll wear it in your honor."
Make a persuasion check. Or deception?
Probably deception. This is definitely deception.
I don't know.
This is
I think Rain actually does think they look really cool.
Well, yeah, no, I agree, but like,
There
it's
you
got
go.
me giving a thumbs up on it, so that's what the insignia is.
Yeah.
I rolled a 6, which is not good. I spent 20 gold to have them smelted overnight,
He had them pressed into gold.
so now I have spent 40 gold this session.
It's like Buddy Christ, but it's
Yeah,
Rain.
yeah.
Eh.
It was a rush order, so that's why it was so expensive. I rolled an 11. I'm gonna use my just given inspiration to
You
reroll
get your
that
inspiration
to lie about these.
I
Oh,
love
22.
Oh my God.
it.
She looks at it and it's like, these do look really cool. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
There we go.
Identified.
Vanity.
We'll be sure to bury you with it.
Then puts it yeah.
That's the darkest shit ever.
Changed my alignment.
Over the course of the class, you're able, in addition to Baobab, you are able to identify 3 other people who fought with the demons, and based on sparring with them and looking at them, like, they have wounds and but they are incredibly athletic. They look like better than you have seen, and these are, town guards, so you've probably seen them around town and stuff like that. These people are really doing their thing well, and they all take medals from you if you give them to them.
I do. Man, this. Okay.
Yeah.
It sucks.
In fact, and while one of them is talking to you, you notice that though they appear very athletic and coordinated, they're slurring their words a little bit like they're drunk.
Okay.
An older guy in his 60s, whose name is Micah.
They start to go crazy too, right? That was another thing. They get really strong and also start to act weird and act out and stuff like that. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Do I know where all these people live?
You do, yeah. Tomar's Crossing is small enough you're able to know kind of where people are and how to find them.
Okay. I make a mental note of those 4 people.
Meanwhile, Torsten, in your rounds visiting people, oh, my monitor's going crazy. In your rounds visiting people, you are able to find another 3 people that you seem to like. They're acting weird and off, and they all tell you stories about seeing the Vanderlock, right, and how terrified they were. One of them even comments, "Hey, I was, I feel better than I have, though. I've never felt this good. I've never felt this ready to take on the fight. And I am ready to go out there and kill these things. So if there's opening on your team, your adventuring team, I am there for it."
All right, I will definitely keep that in mind. Yeah, I'm sure we'll need help.
And then says, "By the way, do you all have a name?"
No, not really.
Oh, all right,
From
well.
somewhere many, many miles away, you hear Rock say, "Team Kick-Ass!"
Oh yeah.
How did I know you were gonna say
Like I said, no, not really.
Thorsten hears it on the wind and he's like, no.
I've been spending too much time with that bird. No, we don't have a name.
Nope, sure don't. Just like locks the door. It's just like
You would know though as soon as Rock has asked that question, you will just
That would be
insist
your
that's
name.
your name. So
Yeah.
you might want to come up
Come
with
up with
one
something,
before
yeah,
she
right?
does, because you know that's what she's gonna do.
no. Team kick.
Meanwhile,
Sorry, Hasbro.
meanwhile, on the way to Fort Kickass,
Oi!
yeah, you all are making your way into towards Fort Kickass, and it is hot. There is still this sort of almost unnatural heat coming from wherever the comet crashed that is just miserable, and the insects are out in full force, and things are just really gross and bad. The mud is starting to dry up a little bit, so now instead of walking through wet mud, it's sort of cakier mud that you're walking through, and there are starving animals that you walk by, or dead animals in a lot of cases. You see a lot of polar bears just dead on the ground, their corpses sort of half eaten by bugs and other scavengers that have come by. As you start to make your way through the area, you can see that there looks like a lot of people. You're following a trail of, at least 50 people with carts and wagons and horses made this same journey that you are making. And when you get close to Fort Kickass, it is, getting on towards later afternoon. You've traveled at a very fast pace to keep up with, your ability to fly and everything like that. And when you get there, tired, a little bit worn out, you see hanging over the front of the fort is a custom wood sign made by Summit Skullcleaver that says Fort Kickass. And when you make your way, you can see people walking up on the wall and in the towers where goblins were the last time you were here. And you hear a horn blow, Rock, as you sort of see the fort in the distance. This horn blows, announcing your arrival. And before you even make your way to the gates, they're starting to open up.
Perfect. Yeah, she'll land to enter with Isabel instead of like flying over the gates, especially if they know she's coming. It feels slightly more proper to do it that way. I don't know if Palmine is going to follow me, but that's what Rock will do.
Palmine does follow you, so she lands, morphs back into Palmine, and says, "Oh, that was wonderful. I haven't had a flight like that in a long time. Felt good to stretch my wings."
I was glad that we didn't run into anything too nasty. Last time we took this trip, it was a little more dangerous, but this at least was just disgusting.
Yes, very disgusting. I heard all about this dragon you encountered from Palmine. Sounded very exciting. Let's go in, shall we?
All right, we'll see what's left of it. It's been here a while. I don't know what the townspeople did with it. Hi! And we'll walk on it.
Sure. As the three of you make your way in, you see something very different than what you left. It looks like the people, first of all, there's way more people here, right? You can see people going to and fro places. It looks like a couple of little stands have set up where people are cooking food and giving it to people. It doesn't look like there's any sort of economic interaction here. They're just making food to give to people that they have brought with them. You can see that there are some other folks who have, cleaned up the area. So all of the rubble, all of the dead goblin corpses from your battle are missing. And it looks like even some people have started to make repairs onto some of the more broken down buildings. If you were to look inside the buildings, you could see that they've been cleaned up of a lot of the goblin gunk and blood and things like that were in there. It's someone is making an effort to rebuild this place for sure. And as you come in, you hear someone say, "Mom?" And Baratus is standing there. And he has your son, and it looks like he is working in a field of some kind. That here on the grounds of the fort, they're like trying to plant stuff in the ground. Him and a couple of other people.
You said he is my grandson, or it's just him?
It's him and your grandson.
Got him in like a baby Bjorn as he's tilling a field or something.
Oh my gosh.
It looks like the grandson is like waddling around with their own child-sized hoe, trying to, you know, make things work. It is adorable and ineffective.
No. He's got like the little plastic lawnmower. It's got, like,
That's right. That's right.
It's like a toy scythe or something, I'm sure. But
Yeah, and in fact, when the baby sees you, he throws it aside and starts, you know, doing that unstable run that young children do up towards you, Isabel.
I scoop my little boy up. Yeah.
Yeah.
My
Are you
little
still on
grandboy.
dusk when you pick him up?
Oh no. Don't make me choose between my two greatest loves.
That's my point. Is you could be on dusk and pick up this child if you want to.
Oh my gosh. Yes.
Yoink!
Yes, I just like lift him up by the back of his little medieval onesie. Don't know what baby- Actually, I do know what babies wore, but it doesn't matter.
Fantasy babies.
Yes.
In a onesie.
Well, my little fantasy medieval onesie, and I scoop him up and take the horse over, and I'll Baratus. It's so good to see you.
And he says, "It's good to see you too, Mom. Sorry we couldn't wait for you to make the big move over here, but it just seemed like the safer way to be."
Oh, absolutely. And you have to protect your family. And you have to protect this precious boy from the sun. He's been out way too long. What is your father thinking? He's not thinking anything, is he? No, he's not. No, he's
Mom,
not. Look at
what
you,
have I told you about
sunburned.
using the baby to be passive aggressive?
I don't know, honey. I can't tell what you say when you mutter under your breath like that.
And he says, you see, while he's working in the field, someone comes over to him. A human woman with red hair comes over, and she says, "Oh, you know, the grain supplies are looking a little low. Do you want us to?" And then she notices that you're there, Isabel, and you're there, Rock. And she says, "Oh, and Baratus looks at you both and says, "They're in charge now," and goes back to planting and
No, I hate it.
you can tell Baratus knew you would hate it.
Oh, I hate it.
Isabel, do you know anything about planting things? I don't know anything about planting things.
I certainly don't. No.
Well, it's just more that our grain, our harvested grain supplies are running low. We didn't bring a ton of food with us. We didn't want to take everything that Tomar's had to offer. So we're, the supplies are okay, but we're not going to last out here like for a long time unless we get some food soon.
Well, we will table this discussion for now because I have to see the sweet little boy's mother. Baratus, sweetie, where's your room?
And he says, "Let me show you, Mom." And he puts down the hoe and wipes his hands off on the front of his shirt and starts leading
That's
you.
the tunic I got you for last midwinter. Okay. Okay. She just hands him the reins to the horse to lead her.
He rolls his eyes, but he takes the reins and he starts leading you through town. And you see, like, as you're being led through town, people are turning to look at you. And there's actually a couple of people who, like, kneel on one leg. And then a couple other people start to clap as you make your way through this town for you and for Rock.
Rock doesn't understand any of that. And anyone who kneels to her, she will kneel back because she thinks, like, oh, this is just like, oh, I haven't had this greeting before, but okay, she'll kneel back. And then anyone who claps her, she's like, yay! we? Why are we clapping again? What's going on?
I love it. Oh no. I love it.
Excellent.
And then she'll like kneel and clap and be like, "Is this what we're supposed to do?" I mean, there's so many different kinds of people here. It's kind of exciting.
Normally, Isabel would think that this is ridiculous, but she sees an opportunity to annoy Baratus even more. And so, like, every time Rock kneels, she'll be like, "Oh, wait for Rock. You know how she is. No, wait for her. Yeah. Oh, yes." And so, like, it's gonna be a very slow walk.
Eventually, Rock will, as she does that, will hear you because she hears everything, and she'll go, "Oh no, that's okay. You go spend time with your family. I'll go ask around, find out what's going on in town. We only have a little bit of time before we got to go back, right?"
Yes. Oh, Rock, you're so astute. You're always with the best ideas.
And at that,
That's
like, as you're calling over your shoulder, you feel the horse being tugged faster by Baratus. Like, let's get out of here. So
Yeah, and Rock will peel off and like, while they're having family time, she'll chat with some people in this town, see how things are going, see what people need, see if, if she has, because she did a pretty good scouting of this fort, so she might have some suggestions at least about, oh, you can go till this field, or you can go hunt over here, or something like that.
Sure, yeah, and that advice is, great. People love it. You also notice that both of you, at this point, Pauline is gone.
Oh, I was about to ask, but
She
yeah.
entered with you and disappeared into the crowd as soon as you started talking to
She's
her.
like, boop, boop, boop.
Well, she knows where the rats are. Like, we told
does.
her,
She
and
does, yeah.
we told everybody where to stay away from. So, like,
Yeah, it's a safe assumption that she immediately went down there and started playing.
I'm so concerned
Zombie
now that like she'll like let one loose because she has now a fort full of test subjects, but whatever.
this
I shouldn't have
doesn't.
said that out loud.
No, this doesn't. Rock doesn't ever think that would happen. But the swift vengeance that would happen if it did. Oh, she would be like. No, that was the whole point why we didn't bring them with us, right? So yeah.
Oh yeah, that was a good point. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I would also like to think now that she's seen Velok that she might be a little more cautious about those rats. She wouldn't be just like, let's experiment with plague rats after like.
Might.
She has self-preservation. Let's see how quickly we have to kill her in a moment. Anyway.
Yes. sorry, James. We got on a tangent.
No,
We
that's
have to
okay.
just
Just
talk
give me
about.
great ideas.
Yeah,
Oh.
Yeah.
that's true.
So you are able to go around and do that, Rock. You are able to have a meager but I shouldn't say meager. You're able to have a filling but simple meal when you sit down with Baratus and Fam, Isabel, and you sort of there's some catching up about. He wants to know all about what you did on your way back, and he tells you about bringing the people back and how there was this decision for a lot of people to go to Fort Kickass. One, because they were realizing the leadership of Tomar's Crossing was corrupt and they didn't think would be able to protect them. And two, because it seemed safer to be behind walls. And so he wants to know more about what you've been through. Do you tell him about the Velok and stuff?
Yes.
Okay.
She does, but she embellishes to make it more dangerous sounding than it is, since she doesn't want him leaving home again.
More dangerous.
Yeah.
How much more dangerous could it possibly be?
She'll give him like wings and like it'll be
One of them did. One of them was an Aarakocra that had wings.
Yeah, that's right. But they couldn't fly, so she'll just give him like devil wings or something, and she'll be like, and as he gazed at the huts, they just caught a fire. It was amazing. It's horrible.
Make a deception check.
Let me see how I do with deception. Okay, good. I was like, yes, 17.
Oh, yeah, his eyes go wide. The whole family, right? And thank God we're here.
Goodness.
Thank the gods, and thank the gods you were there, Mom. You were able to save those people who are left.
Well,
it's crowded here, and you notice that like essentially the room that he's in is a half room. They've put up these privacy walls in some of the chambers to make room for people. And he says, but it's safe, and we'll take anyone we can. I mean, I know this fort is technically yours, and Rocks and Rains and Torsten, but I think it would be good for you to open your doors to all people who are willing to make this community a better place.
Of course, you know how I've always encouraged an open home. My home is your home, and your home is my home. That's how it's always been, sweetie.
He nods and then says, so what do you need from us?
Well, for one thing, a little more garlic in these spinach puffs. They are bland.
Well, you know, garlic is rationed, Mom. So, no.
Maybe because there was too much of it used last time we were here.
Well, Rock has a
At
list
dinner,
of
not in
things.
this place, but yeah. So she'll do a little of the bitchy banter at first, and then she will finally describe to them the potion that she needs for this ritual.
Mind reading. Oof. That's advanced. I might need a few days to work on that.
Well, I have every faith in you. You know I've always supported your potion making.
Yes, you have?
Yes, I have.
And she turns to Baratus and says, your mother is really strange when she wants something, and like starts clearing the table then.
I will allow that.
And
I don't
so,
care about your feelings. I just want the potion. Thank you.
Rock, you learn a lot more about the fortifications of the place too while you are wandering around. It sounded like people were looking to Baratus for answers while he was out, because he was sort of like the next in line. They're almost treating this like it's a little monarchy that has been created, that the four of you rule together. So a quadarchy, I guess. But yeah, so and not in the sense that anybody has written down those laws or anything like that. This is all very new, and people are just assuming that the four of you are in charge because it is your fort, and that is the way things go. They do mention that they found a couple of weird monsters in here when they first came, but it wasn't anything that people couldn't handle. And they show you the corpses of a couple of giant spiders that had taken over the fort in your absence, that they have killed.
How, like giant, like as in like people-sized spiders?
As in horse-sized.
Jeez.
And so they've got the corpses just like hanging out? Like,
They're saving them in case they need to eat them.
oh, okay. I've never eaten spider before. I wonder how it tastes. That's creepy. Nice job on getting those. Oh, that's that's it, right? You didn't go into the basement where I told you where the rats were, and like everything else is fine.
Baratus said that was off limits. So
Okay, good. Yeah, I'm gonna go check on.
Sealed up when we came, so.
Yeah, I'm gonna go check on that in a sec. There was also a big dragon corpse. What did you do with that?
Oh, well, the head was cut off.
Well, we had to kill it somehow.
So they walk you around the other side of the spider corpses, and you can see the dragon is there. They said we weren't sure if this was safe to eat. It's kind of smells, so we haven't done anything with it. But we thought you might, I don't know, want to make it into armor or something. So here it is.
Can you do that?
Heroes of old, according to legend, it was done.
That's pretty cool. No, I mean, that would be awesome, but I don't know how to do that. I just know we're supposed to get this. And she'll walk over to a claw and pull out a dagger and start hacking away.
Yeah. So the person you've been talking to is this red-haired woman who was speaking with Baratus.
Okay.
She hands you like a hacksaw that they have in this shed where they're keeping the bodies, and says, "This might be a little cleaner."
Oh, yes, thank you. Or at least faster. That'd be good. And as she's going after this, she'll be like, yeah, and you could probably get rid of the rest of this body. It does kind of smell. We killed it a while ago, so meat's probably gone bad. But yeah, I'm gonna take care of that. And then so get the claw, stick it in a like a burlap sack or something, and
Got it.
then unless there's anything else that what's the name of the red-haired woman? Did she introduce herself at all?
So she would have introduced herself. Her name is Marin, Maryn.
I always go for the eyes. Okay, Marin, thank you for your help. I really appreciate it. Is there anything else you need, or if not, I gotta go check on rats in basement and the giant eagle we came with.
No, that's it for now. But if you need anything, I'm around, and you can ask anybody where I am, and they'll take you or find me or however.
Okay,
Whatever you prefer. This is your fort.
it is, but you're all living here, so it's you should do what you want with it.
We have been fixing up the place. It sounds like our plans are aligned based on everything you told me. Thank you for this advice. This is great.
Yeah, really all I care about is that it's still called Fort Kickass because that's awesome. And she'll wander away because that's all she really cares about. Yeah, so I want to go find the trapdoor to the basement.
Yep.
Both to see where what's her face went and the rats, and then I'm supposed to be looking for a symbol on a wall down there.
That's right. Yes, you are. So you are able to make your way down to the basement, and you can see Palmine is down there. She's got an apron on. That you see also the corpse of the gnome that you killed down here is actually still down here. So because no one has been down here to like clean it up or anything, so things are still gross and terrible, and dead zombies and things like that are around. And she has taken the apron off of the gnome. It is small on her, but it's kind of all she had available. And she is looking at these rats. You can tell she's being very careful. She has these big mail gloves on, like chainmail gloves, and is lifting up one rat. The rest are still in that container that you've put them in. And she's got like a tight grip with both hands on it as she's looking at it. And she is singing a song. And as she is singing a song, you can see that she's casting a spell sort of over and over again that is making little vines grow out of the rat.
Which gnome are you talking about? Not Piotr, right?
No,
he's a
not
friendly
Piotr.
gnome. The one that I exploded?
Yes, the exploded gnome.
Okay. Why is his body down here?
Didn't we put it down here?
Did we?
I don't remember.
Yeah, I thought he was confronted down here with
No,
Piotr.
we blew
No, it
him
was
up.
Piotr.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's not here.
Okay.
One
But there
less
are other
disgusting.
bodies.
Yeah.
Woo! Lord Retcon came in and fixed everything.
Listen, there's a giant undead Velok disgusting ogre body that's been here for days, if not weeks. That's enough disgusting for everybody.
Yeah.
Okay.
That is definitely true.
Palmine, what are you doing to that rat?
And she says, just experimenting here, it's trying to see if this thing has the same thing the Velok had, and is there a way to cure it? And just starting out very small. This is a spell that I call Druidcraft. Well, I don't call it that. Everyone calls it that. But yes, it's a fanciful spell that can do all sorts of things. And she casts, stings the little song again and makes some movements with her hand. And this time you notice, Rock, that out from the floorboards, or really the stone of the ground, there's cracks in the ground. Between your taloned feet, a little couple of sprigs of mistletoe shoot up out of the ground.
Oh, that's pretty. Ground is kind of, I would normally take it and be like, thank you, but ground is kind of disgusting. That's very pretty.
Oh, yes, don't touch it. But we could make some improvements around here. It is terrible smelling.
Oh,
and
I
indeed-
figured once we were done, like you were doing the thing with the rats, and I have to go check on something, and then we'd like bury this place because it's creepy and disgusting and filled with dead bodies and things.
And there's a nod at those wise words. And she says, "Well, go about your business. I'm fine here. Thank you for getting these, by the way." And she says, "I know we agreed on a reward originally, and things are sort of hazy here because we had a little spat now and then. So I thought I could make it up to you by increasing the reward." And she takes a pouch off of her belt and hands it to you.
As she takes it, Rock will just look at her because she really actually doesn't care about the reward at all, but she'll take it because she knows Rain does. And will say, "Well, here, the important thing is that you be really careful with those rats, and when you're done like doing things with vines and everything, that we destroy them, because if they carry the plague, you saw what happens with people who carry plague."
Oh, yes, I agree. Don't worry, when my experiments are done, they'll probably be dead anyway.
And just for my own security, does Rock believe her?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, it seems like she's very excited, but also being very careful. She's not a mad scientist.
Using my passive insight of I know when you're lying. Okay. What's in the bag?
In the bag, there are 3 potions of greater healing.
Ooh.
Whoa.
Oh, these are going to be coming really handy. We get beat up a lot. Okay, potions of greater healing.
Mhm.
Awesome. She'll stash those and go, "Okay, well, if you need anything, just let me know. I'll be over here." And she's going to go, if I remember correctly, it's that adjacent room that was the secret room that Fairy Eye was in. And that's what
Right.
Fairy Eye said to go into. And on the wall, there was going to be a symbol that looked like a hand with a pinky up.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So she's going to walk into that room with this knowledge. Does she see that symbol?
Yes. So knowing to look for it, you actually do see it. It looks faded, like it's very old in the wall, and it's been here for a long time. You might disregard it as damage if you didn't know to look for it, right? That is just sort of the wear and tear and weather of the room, especially because a huge chunk of the floor of this room is torn up because you all tore it up to free Fairy Eye the last time you were in here.
This is true.
Great
Do
plan.
I have any idea, like, what I'm supposed to do? Am I supposed to just like attack the wall? Like, can I investigate this symbol and see what's going on?
Sure, make an investigation check.
I would love to. Now, is this the thing? Hey, so I'm going to stand still for a moment and then have advantage on my investigation check.
Okay, yeah.
Oh, nice. 27.
Okay. Yeah, so you are knocking around a little bit. And the first thing you notice is it sounds hollow behind this wall when you knock on it and check it out. The next thing you know is that as your hand gets close to it, this shape on the wall with the pinky up changes its size and almost seems to match the size of your hand. And
All right.
It's like a little indentation in the wall.
I'll mirror it with my taloned hand and be like,
Yeah.
"Oh,
So yeah, you're able to mirror it, and it even like looks like a much thicker pinky, based on the what I assume talons, humanoid talons would be. And when you do that, there's a little bit of a rumble in the wall, just a tiny bit, and some dust shakes loose, and then this thing pushes back and sideways, and this smell of stale air hits you in the face, and you can see that there's this little compartment that you have opened up, and it looks like there is something in there that is long, like it goes back. It's this narrow kind of container, and whatever it is wrapped up in this dirty brown cloth.
she'll grab it."
Okay. You grab it, and immediately when you touch, you feel a bow. like a short bow.
Oh, I thought you meant like I got attacked. Like, I should have ticked for traps. No. Yeah, okay. Oh, all right.
Yes.
Unwrap it and look at. Is it a short bow?
It is indeed a short bow, and one of the things that strikes you is that like the string is still on this thing, which seems weird for how old it is. And then it also strikes you that this thing isn't dusty at all. It is totally pristine and clean, and it looks like it's made of this tree that you saw a lot in the mountains around where your home was. This pine tree that used to be there all the time. You can tell it's the same wood, and when you smell it, it's that same smell you would get when you walked among those trees.
And she'll just hold it to her nose because the rest of this place smells horrible. So she's gonna hold it up, be like, "Oh, this is so much nicer." Yes, okay.
When you hold it to your nose, the bow whispers.
What? Another talking weapon.
Do you speak Elvish?
I do not.
I
Okay.
do.
So it says something, and I'm like, that?
You recognize it probably as Elvish. You've spent enough time in Tomar's Crossing now. You probably know the language when you hear it. But yeah, it is. It's something in Elvish that you're like, huh, interesting.
Hello? Hello?
You hear the same exact phrase again.
Oh, it's on repeat. Okay, I will have to find someone who speaks Elvish.
Mm-hmm.
Well, this is cool looking and it smells nice, so I guess that's good. And she'll just hold it up to her nose as she makes her way. Actually, she'll go to Palmine and be like, "Hey, look what I found. Hey, do you speak Elvish?"
Oh yes, I do. I had many Elvish lovers, you know. Bring it here.
Here, and she'll hold it out for her to listen. It smells really nice too.
She has the rat and very carefully puts the rat back in the container, puts the lid back on, and takes it and smells it. And she hands it back to you and says, yes. Do you know what this is saying?
No, but it's on repeat. It really wants to say it.
Yes, it's saying, swift death to my enemies.
Ooh.
Oh, that's cool. Who's its enemies? Can a bow have enemies?
Its enemies are whoever your enemies are.
Oh, okay, cool.
Oh, unless they're not, in which case you and the bow will have some problems. But I don't think it's like that. I think this thing just wants to kill righteously.
Can you ask it what its enemies are? I mean, I'd hate to take it and then it wants to kill like Aarakocra or something. That'd be very weird.
Oh, yes, let me, and she says, if you give me an hour, I could tell you all about this bow.
Why do you need an hour? What happens in an hour? Can I just wait an hour?
You could wait an hour too if you want, but I would be able to cast a spell that would tell me all about it.
Oh, okay. And she'll hand over the bow and then she'll just sit and watch.
Okay,
Sorry, Isabel.
cool.
I know. Everyone else. This is what happens when you leave Rock alone.
So as that's going on, we're going to go back to Tomar's Crossing. And in Tomar's Crossing, Torsten and Rain, did you make any plan to sort of meet up afterwards?
Yes, we did.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll. Yep.
Okay. So the two of you, let's say, are meeting in the Kick and Punchatorium where Ferrii is, in case you want to ask Ferrii any questions. Discussing what was going on with your day, sharing information about who might be infected with the Demonplague.
Mm-hmm.
And at that moment, there is a knock at the door.
Okay, I answer I look through the. Who is it? I look at the window.
Okay. So when you look through the window, you can see that there is a half-orc who is standing there. He's in a big, heavy cloak, which strikes you as weird given the weather situation that you're currently going through. And you can see that like he's wearing gloves. All of his body is covered except for his face.
I don't recognize him?
You do not recognize him. You've not seen him before.
Okay. I open the door.
Okay. And he says, "Hello, I'm looking for Rock."
Rock is out of town at the moment. How can I help you?
Do you know where she went?
I do. How can I help you?
You could tell me where she went.
So you're acting really suspicious right now. I just FYI. So why don't we talk about why you want to see Rock, who is my friend, and then I can maybe tell you where she is.
She's an old friend of mine.
Do I kind of overhear this?
Yeah, you can probably hear this going on.
All right, I will kind of approach and kind of finger my ring that I've got, which is a ring of truth telling.
Mm-hmm.
So I have advantage on wisdom insight to determine whether someone's lying to you. So I just kind of want to listen to Rain talk to this guy.
Okay. Yeah, you can make an insight check while this is going on.
Okay, I'll say, oh, did you know her from the circus?
I did. How do you know about the circus?
I mean, I am friends with her, and she has mentioned the circus before. What did you do in the circus?
It was my circus.
Oh.
And he pushes past you.
All right, this is my home, but okay, come right in.
And he says, well, you want to know, don't you?
I do.
And he says, my name is Bruce Killshatter. Was that funny to you?
Yeah. There's a little disconnect between Bruce and Killshatter. It's a little amusing. Sorry. No, we all have their names. We didn't choose them most of the time, so.
Kick and Punch Atorium's a dumb name.
No. All right. Disagree. But all right, Killshatter.
Telling the truth there.
No. Quite you.
Shots fired.
So yeah, it was my circus.
Where did you go? I've seen the big tent out here.
It took me a while to climb out of the mud that buried us. I'm looking for Rock because I know that she was able to get away.
Yes.
I'm hoping she can help me.
Well, what help do you need?
That's for me and Rock to talk about.
Okay, well, Rock should be back in town in a couple of days, so you can hang here until she gets here.
Great. And he starts making his way up the steps.
Hold on. I meant in town, like the broader here. I didn't mean literally
here. It's fine. Thank you.
I see the tent. The tent. Have you seen the big circus tent?
Still here. Your tent is still here. I mean, that's yours, right? So
that's
you
where
should go,
a lot of the refugees have been staying. I'm sure you'd be welcome to stay there.
Go claim it. It's yours.
Thank you. But this is perfect.
All right, whatever. You better be Rock's friend, because if you're not, you're getting a beat down, buddy.
So I rolled a 22 for my insight check.
So, in addition to all of the obvious ways this guy is shady, there is something you noticed, Robert, and that is that this individual, except to talk, is not breathing.
Okay. Do we know sending yet, Torsten, the spell?
Yeah, with a little time I can.
Sure. I think sending a message to Rock would be good, so we know whether or not to kill this guy before she gets back, if we should, because that's creepy.
He's already taking his shirt off.
Yeah, like it's
hey, I mean...
it's a button down and a couple buttons are off right now.
He's like,
and I'm assuming that that Rock's never mentioned this guy.
Oh yeah, it's a good question.
You tell me, Lauren. Has Rock mentioned this guy?
Just shaking her head for the listening
No.
audience.
Okay.
No, I have
Rock
not.
is not.
Okay.
what did
So
you
that's
say his last
immediately
name
suspicious.
Killshatter.
Killshatter.
was? Okay.
Bruce Killshatter.
I wrote Killstar, and I was like, wait, this is like kind of JoJo Bizarre's Adventure, so I need to like make sure that okay, Killshatter. I'll write that down.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, again, could be Rock is also not Rock's real name, as you know. So it could be some sort of circus name.
I think this
perhaps.
guy's from Marvel's Earth 67.
If it's the case, if it's a circus name, like he literally could have come up with anything. Like,
I do think, if I remember correctly, Rock has explained that her name, she says her name is Rock because her real name in Orin is too hard for people to pronounce. So she might have actually said it for you, but it includes like whistles and clicks, and the beginning kind of sounds like it's Rokisha. It's something like that. Like, I have it written down if you want it, but like she would explain like that's not her real name. That's like it's like a commoning of her name.
Excellent.
So I mean, I'm definitely interested. I will kind of sit there and say, is there, could we get you anything to eat or drink? And so it looks like you're hanging out here for a couple days, and I'll start talking to him and kind of try to get his story and line it up with what I remember of Rock telling us of what happened to her in the circus.
And he refuses the food and drink. And he answers questions, but tries to keep it very minimal. So he does tell you that about the circus. He says that he was, a strong man in the circus. You can see his frame looks pretty big underneath this cloak. And even now inside, he's not taking anything off. And he also tells you that, he was sort of like a ringmaster at times in the circus as well. He did some announcing and that sort of thing. And he tells you a lot about when Rock first came to the circus and about how it was he really bonded with her and looked upon her and all of the people in the circus as his children, and that he met his wife in the circus, a woman named Grak, who was also a half-orc and was an animal trainer for the group. So there's a lot of you can see he's got a lot of love for these people, but as he's talking about it, there's no joy in his voice. It is all kind of reminiscing, wistful sadness that seems like it's bordering on anger while he talks to you.
So after I kind of talk to him for a while, then I excuse myself and I say, I'm gonna go. I need to go study a bit. I'll see you later, Rain.
Cast Turn Undead. Just cast it. Go in the bathroom and do it, and I'll see what happens.
Oh, and I guess also from my insight, like, do I detect any sort of malice?
You can tell that for Rock, he has no malice. That he really genuinely does love and care about Rock. He seems surprised that if you're close friends with Rock, you've never heard of him. Almost hurt a little bit, if that's the case. But he does not. He also, in that same moment, seems a little bit understanding. You've got a really good insight on this guy, and you can tell whatever he has been through, it has pained him greatly, and he wants to kill someone over it, but certainly not Rock.
And actually, I meant when I was asking initially about kind of what he's been up to, does he answer about kind of what happened to him, how he escaped the avalanche or whatever it was, and does he give any indications about his current state?
He says that he thought he was going to die, and then he woke up beneath the mud and dug his way out. That they were essentially caught in like this little area that was surrounded by rocks, almost a valley where they took cover, where they thought they would be safe, and it started to fill with mud, and everyone was able to see Rock escape because she could fly, but there is nothing else that he could do. So Yeah.
Did anybody else? Was anybody else able to escape, or only you?
So it was just him. He says everyone else is dead.
And I don't, mean to alarm you, but you seem to be in a particular state of being. What do you know about that?
What? Why?
He looks down at himself, and he starts taking off his gloves. And as he does, you can see his hands are like thin and pale and ghostly, and there's actually patches in his skin where there's just skin is just gone, and you can see like exposed muscle and bone and stuff. And like he opens up his cloak and then opens up his shirt, and underneath that you can see same thing on his chest. And it looks like heavy bruising and things like that, almost like his body was crushed under the weight of all this mud. And so, yeah. So you see all of that.
This is
So
the worst
what-
striptease I've ever heard.
What do I know about these sorts of things, about undead, rising up, being intelligent, anything like that?
You can make a religion check.
All right. I'm gonna go and use my inspiration on this one. See what I can get. I rolled a 14 plus 7, so 21.
Okay. So there are a couple of undead, right, that come back because they have unfinished business or that kind of thing. So there's, this could be someone like a vampire, right? But the fact that the wounds haven't closed up or healed tells you that it's probably not that, because vampires regenerate. This could be, it's clearly not a ghost because there is a physical manifestation in front of you. You have the feeling that it is what's called a revenant, which I'm sure you, Robert, know. But for the viewing audience,
Yes, the viewing
a
audience.
revenant is an undead creature that comes back from an undeserving fate, essentially clawing its way back into the world to seek revenge on those who have wronged it.
So, knowing that, or at least guessing that, I want to try to, talk to him and kind of find out, like what is driving you as you've come back to this place from being beneath the mud. Why do you seek rock? What are you looking to do?
I need her help. We need to end this thing that has come upon the valley. It is not natural. It is the comet that struck the valley. It wasn't sent here by nature. It wasn't a disaster that was caused by the gods. It is something else entirely.
What? Sent it.
What?
Why do you think something sent it? What do you know?
I don't know. I don't. And he grabs his head and he says, there is time in the darkness. There is time when I was dead, where I was in an afterlife. I was with my wife and things were good. I get flashes of it. I don't remember quite what happened, but I know that that's where I must have learned. That comet didn't just bring ruin to the valley. Ruin was riding upon it. We need to find that comet, and we need to kill whatever came on it.
I say, well, we have been trying to rid the plague that is in this valley, and rid all of the consequences of that comet coming, and finding the comet and helping you, maybe one step to that as well. And I'm sure Rock would be more than willing to help you. I'm sorry that you were back here after being with your wife, and I will sort of like try to say some prayers of peace from Aldath to try to kind of calm him down a little bit and, you know, make his existence a little bit easier.
When you pray, when you start to pray, he looks at you and stands up and says, "I think the gods are gonna sit this one out," and like turns his back on you and just looks broodingly out the window.
Bruce Killshatter.
He turned emo.
No, I love it.
This is the worst. No, I hate it.
The notes. No, I love it.
So with that, then definitely Torsten is going to go and try to spend some downtime researching this spell for sending, and I'll spend the gold that that Rock gave me scribing this, and send her a message, just saying that Bruce Killshatter, or what is it? Star.
No, that's right. You got it.
Killshatter, yeah.
Killshatter, yeah. Okay. Bruce Killshatter's here. He seems to be some sort of revenant undead, although he's intelligent and not angry. Well, angry, but not at you. And what do you know of him? I guess it has to be kind of short, right? It's like 20 words.
20, yeah.
Yeah, 25 words. Yeah.
Do I hear this in my head all of a sudden?
Yep.
Wake up!
Oh, jeez. Okay.
It's the most intrusive text message of all time.
Right.
All right. You hear back from Rock. Thorsten, hello. Where are you? I can't see you. What's going on? You're in my head? Wait, Bruce is alive, but he's dead? But what? What is going on? I don't And then it stops.
Yeah.
Nice. Oh my god. I'll spend another spell to say, keep it short. This is magic. You have 21.
What was your question again? I'm sorry. Since you're doing
so just like what do you know of him? What do you know of Bruce?
Bruce was like the guy who took care of everybody in the circus. He was a really nice guy. I really liked him, and I thought he was dead. I thought everybody was dead. What is he doing here? Is everybody else alive? Is Grack alive? Is Marion there? And then it probably cuts off.
Yeah.
I love the idea of like, it's probably a faux pas in the D&D world to tell someone their friend is now undead the same way it would be to break up with someone via text. You know?
I have to know, like, where is Rock sleeping or residing?
Yeah, where are we when she gets this message?
She, like, shut down.
Responding out loud as well as in her head. So whoever's around her is going to hear whatever Rock is saying.
You have your own tower, right? You have your own roost.
Oh, that's right.
Oh, okay. I was gonna be like, is she hanging out on Beardis's pull-out sofa?
Well, this is still during the day, so I'd assume we haven't gone to sleep yet. But like, am I downstairs still with Palmine waiting to find out, or like, have I gone? Where am I?
Yeah. So let's we'll fast forward here a little bit because Robert wanted to do that the next morning.
I wanted to talk. I wanted to talk to
alright.
Torsten too.
Okay, so that wasn't
Before
So
he
I'll be
left the study.
sleeping. Yeah, I'll be like with Isabel. So I'll basically be like, Thorsten, hi, what's going on? And yeah, she would have said everything out loud.
Eventually, you're gonna hear an owl when Isabel kicks her off the pull-out.
Shut up again, is Marion okay? An owl!
That's awesome.
She has no idea about this spell. She has zero idea what's going on. You're just appearing in her head. She's like, okay, this is cool. What's going on? Wait, my friends are alive.
Please.
Sort of. So yeah, let's Torsten and Rain. Let's have this conversation.
Okay, and I want to ask Fairy Eye as well. Fairy Eye, you are so wise, who has earned the title Fairy Eye the Wise. Should we tell the people with the Demonplague that they have the Demonplague?
It is...
Torsten, open question as well. Would like your input, because...
Well, let's hear what.
Yeah,
Fairy
that's
had
what
to say.
Fairy Eye says.
Oh, that is always a hard question. I would not necessarily do anything we did since we had to drop a glacier onto our civilization to save the world.
Yeah, agreed on that matter.
So, I don't know. I always find honesty is the best policy, but I could also see someone freaking out and trying to kill you.
Yeah,
And-
to kill me?
Sure. Because they want to stay alive and you know they have the demon plague.
Yeah.
I wonder if there's anywhere we could take them to. You know, I hate to quarantine, but if they are going to turn into Velok and then they are going to infect other people, that is an existential threat to the town.
Yeah, maybe we could make it like a Rain's special retreat for working out or something. I don't know.
There's the
Sweat
prison.
lodge.
Yeah. It's a special seminar in the middle of the woods to live like Rain did, like the hermit.
Whatever happened to the halfling who was studying this stuff as well? Or is he
He's still in town. Piotr.
Piotr.
right.
I don't know. This is a roughie, my man. This is the kind of decisions they're gonna have to deal with as town councilmen.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like we should keep them away,
Mm-hmm.
especially if they start getting having more symptoms, getting worse.
Mm-hmm.
You have, Fairy Eye says, you do have the prison.
The prison, the windmill.
No,
No,
Oh,
The
that's right.
fort.
We converted part of the fort to a prison, right?
well, didn't one just kind of come through and like tear all that up? They're super strong, right? So-
Yeah.
it did. However, you've seen that the Valak can be restrained. You saw that.
Oh
When-
yeah.
So, Robert, you actually weren't here, but that is when Ralakai Gravemore had a restrained.
He just put a blindfold on it, right?
Yep.
And it was like chained up.
Yeah, it was super chained up. That's like zombie mom in the barn, though. I don't know if that's a good idea. You know what I
Well,
mean?
Yeah.
Red Dead Demon Plague. Is that where we're going?
Is there any way to reverse being a Velok Fairy Eye?
That's what everyone's
They're
looking
called
for. Right?
Mombies, first of all.
Mombies.
Zombies. Yeah.
Oh no.
I mean, that's kind of what they're looking for the with
To
you
be
know.
a Velok, you have to die as a person, though. So even if we reversed it, what are they're going to be like old, muscle hands upstairs? I'm referring to Bruce Killshatter. Right? I don't know. They'll come back as undead if we reverse it. I don't know.
I
I
don't
think
know.
that's a good idea. I think killing them outright would be bad.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, good. Maybe bringing them there. And how fast after they die do they turn into Velok? Immediately, Fairy Eye? Or is there like an hour of dead person time?
It is a matter of minutes.
A matter of minutes.
But it's only after they die, or do they die from the?
They die from the demon plague, then they come up as Velok, and then they can give other people the demon plague. What are the
And-
final stages before they
Right.
die? Is it like a terrible, like, do they turn pale? Do they completely lose all their, like, do they become completely weak? Or
Increased strength,
they're even stronger before they die?
and they lose their mind.
And they go completely insane.
Mhm.
Huh.
Okay. Well, this got really bad then. So
Yeah.
we're gonna have to put them up, and we're going to have. Is there a time, like, I know we said 10 days, right?
Or less.
Is
Yeah.
that
So
all-
the 10 days is not exact. The
Uh-huh.
10 days is an about that was
Mhm.
given to you.
It's an about though. It's not less.
So,
Like,
oh yes, some can certainly
It'd
be less.
Oh, okay. So we need to get them in here right away.
Man,
I
this
mean, it's the
is
only choice
tough.
right now.
Yeah, no, I agree. It's just it
Existential threat,
sucks. Yeah. So should we tell them? Should we tell anyone else, or should we?
Yeah, I mean, this has to be a town thing. We can't just do it in secret. Or something like
Yeah,
that.
that's
We have
not
to know.
smart or good.
Okay.
And we should tell them right away. I mean,
Should we say that we're looking for a way to reverse it? And that
yeah. I mean, that's
Okay.
why Palmine is at
Mhm.
Fort Kickass, and
yeah,
they did say that who is it? One of the ghosts said that some of the this ritual that we have could also be used to reverse it, right? If used in a certain way or something
I
like
think
that.
it was like one per person though, right?
Right. It wasn't that many. Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't make that many doses of the cure.
Yeah, and we kind of need that to already. It's,
And it's
Right.
still, we end up sacrificing the pseudo dragon.
yeah, we're already
God.
spending a lot of resources for each time we can use the ritual, and
Mhm.
it's going to be a pain to find all the stuff again. So, all right. I guess it's time to start outfitting some super cells in the prison where we set up chains and stuff like that. Do I need to spend another 20 gold, James? Because I'll do it. I'll spend 20 gold again, James.
I would say to build super cells for
Yeah.
7 people, which is
Yeah.
what you're talking about.
Yeah.
You probably need to spend 70.
70
gold.
gold, fair. Fair.
Mhm.
I will accept the burden.
Okay. That's good because Torsten has no money.
He has no money because he's the only person that actually spends money to be their class.
Yeah.
The healer.
Rainbow still owes Isabel money for fixing him
I
up
do.
with
You get like a
Padra.
third of all my money or something, right?
Yeah, I do.
Sure, whatever.
Yeah.
Excellent. So is that what you plan to do after sending the spell to Rock the next morning? You guys are going to start outfitting supercells.
Yeah.
Summon Skullcleaver, happy to help.
Yep.
7. And I don't... should we set up like a a big heavy thing above them? So... Oh no!
Like a
They're
dead
loose.
ball.
Yeah. Hit the switch. Bam. 50, 100-pound, 2-ton thing falls on their head and kills them. I don't know. Is that too crazy? I don't want to I don't want to have to
I don't know
put.
if 70 gold buys that.
This
Oh,
just
that's
turned
true.
Acme
Yeah,
evil.
that's going to be more
Evil.
gold.
I don't know about that.
You'll need to pay the Wile E. Coyote to fix that too, I
Wile E. Coyote architecture firm.
think.
Or just something. I don't know. Because we'll have to put an armed guard at least on our. We'll have to. Yeah. There's
Yeah,
a lot of.
yeah.
There's a lot logistically we have to figure
Right.
out.
Yeah. And so once we start figuring that stuff out, then we'll call a town meeting to the next for the next evening.
There you go. Well, bam. So, you are going to be able to sort of logistically figure that stuff out. The next evening, if all goes according to plan, Rock and Isabel will be joining you, maybe. So, Isabel, the next morning, Baratus hands you a potion of mind reading.
Oh, fantastic.
and
Thank
says-
you.
Wow.
Yeah, we were stayed up all night, motivated to see you on your way, Mom.
And you know how much I appreciate that.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Yes, I do.
And she
Listen-
hands the baby to him with a mouthful of candy.
Ah. And he says, "Listen, Mom. These people are looking to me
Mhm.
to lead this place.
Mhm.
I'm not really qualified to do anything like this. You know, you and your friends, when we were out there, that was something else. You all were really impressive, and I know that." He looks at the baby's mouthful of candy. You can be difficult sometimes, but I know it's because you always know what the right thing to do is. And you're so sure of it. I want that. I want to be sure that I'm bringing these people in the right direction. How do you do it?
And she will for a lot of the conversation she'd been keeping up her very mother-in-law tone, but when he does ask her that, she will draw a deep breath and sort of set her hands on her adventurer's pack, and she'll walk up to him, and he's small for a half-orc but still taller than her, so she'll set her hand sort of on his jaw, and there comes a time in everyone's life when they realize that they no longer need their mother. And I think that you won't know when that happens, but I will. And I've looked at you grow over the years, and you've become such a strong young man. I know that I can trust you to do this. And she'll sort of pat on the side of his face really hard, and so don't screw it up.
He draws you in for a hug.
Ooh. She'll give him a big hug.
And then the grandson also comes in and hugs both your legs.
Oh, and she slips some like candies into his pockets, just like.
And you hear Baratus go, Mom. Rock.
Hi.
You have learned, in addition to the things Torsten told you, you learned from Pauline that your bow is the short bow version of an oath bow.
Version of an orc bow.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly. So you've got that going for you as well. Oath bow found in the Dungeon Master's Guide. I assume you have access to D&D Beyond. Just an inkling that I have.
Why I do.
There.
I will get the short bow version of an oath bow added to my character on D&D Beyond. Hey, I'll do that in a bit. But yeah, so she'll have gotten the bow, and that's an attunement item, right? If I remember correctly. Yeah, so she'll have attuned to it and then gotten those messages from Torsten. So when Isabel is like cleaning up and saying goodbye to everybody, she's going to be out with the horse, like antsy. We gotta go. I don't know what's going on back at the town. I don't know what, like, I got messages in my head, and now, like, people that I thought were dead were back to life, and we should go. Like, 2-year-old excited, but also worried.
Excellent. Yeah, so you are out there. Isabel, you see Rock is ready to go, and as you two are getting ready to go, Pauline comes out and says, well, shall we go back then?
Did you find everything you needed with the rats?
Not everything. I left them down there, made sure the door was barred, and told Baratus to keep people away still. But there's an election coming up, and I need to be ready, so can't spend too much time away from town.
Do you think that there's going to be any chance that you could figure out how to cure everybody if you stay and keep working with the rats?
Oh, don't worry about that. I found a way to keep working with them, so we'll be fine.
You don't have one with you, do you?
No. I set up a mystic circle last night that will allow me quick transportation between both places.
Can anyone use those, or just magic users, or I don't know how do mystic circles work?
Anyone who can cast a teleportation circle spell can use them. Yeah.
God, what if she just got lost on our way back?
What if she just got lost? I mean, magic.
Yeah.
It's not exact science, am I right?
Sorry,
Things
bumped
happen. Things
Rock
happen.
Rock is going to give her a curious look and then say, oh, good, because, the thing that would be even better than being in charge of the town would be saving everybody. I mean, if you figured out how to save everybody, especially if they were, like, infected with the thing, then I'm sure everyone would want to vote for you, right?
Yes, I agree. But would you like to teleport back to my home now?
Yes, can we do that now? That'd be really good. I mean, we have to leave the horse here. We'll have to come back for the horse, but I like flying, but I'd like to get there now.
We can't take Dusk?
No, the horse can come too, of course.
Okay.
I will never leave an animal behind.
Oh, thank God.
How do we get the horse down the ladder? Don't we have to climb a ladder?
She goes over and starts talking to Dusk, and you can see that Dusk understands her.
Wait, she can talk to
That's
Dusk?
great. That still doesn't explain how she's gonna get a horse down a rung. Like, is the wait?
I want to talk to Dusk.
Yeah, I'm jealous.
I'm like super jealous right now, and I'm like playing it up a little.
It looks
for the
like
camera,
Pauline
but
knows
I'm
that would make you
serious.
super jealous.
Oh my
And it's
god.
like, oh, really? And then she looks you up and down.
Oh my god.
She's saying Rain is the
That
best.
probably is true. And then she says, come, everyone gather around. I'll bring you to my hut.
I'm so mad.
When she does that, does Rock think that she's just playing with Isabel, or does she think that Dusk really said something?
Did Dusk say something?
Yeah, go ahead and make an insight check, Rock.
Oh
I
my
would
god.
love to.
Like, I'm playing it up a little for the camera, but I'm actually a little distressed right now. Like, PK
That's a
is
28.
distressed.
Secret
Well, I rolled a natural 1. So yes, Rock knows that this is all being. This is all bullshit.
Oh, thank God.
They get onto the
He
circle.
is actually talking to the horse, but you get the feeling like just based on body movements and stuff, they're probably talking about something real dumb. Like
Yeah.
the horse's intelligence hasn't increased at all.
Yeah, horse
So
things.
they're probably talking about like, hay is great. Isn't hay awesome? I love hay.
As they get onto the teleportation thing, or wherever she's gonna do it, Rock will give Isabel a side eye and give her a little wink.
Okay, cool. Isabel, I'm gonna say Isabel picks up what she's putting down and is like, okay.
This is a little.
And you don't need to be in on the teleportation circle for this to work. You're being transported to another teleportation circle. Just to answer your question about going down ladders, Lauren, and that sort of thing. So you just all need to be in a group. She teleports you, and you are back in Tomar's Crossing in her hut. And she says, "Well, I've got a day of campaigning ahead of me, so get out of my house." And she opens the door for you.
That's legit how I tell people to leave my house. I'll just be like, well, time for bed. Get out of my house.
We gotta go find Thorsten, and I gotta go find Bruce, and Rock is gone.
Okay.
Okay.
Gone.
Isabel just like stands in the awkward silence, is like, okay, well, I'll just take Dusk. Just leads Dusk out of the house.
Okay. Yeah, so you take Dusk and are able to follow sort of Rock. And you can see on your way, like walking on your way, you see Torsten and Rain with this cart full of fresh materials. There's like chains, anvils, I guess.
Is that okay? Can we go forward with that plan? Okay. If we can make it fit in the budget.
That's going to be expensive. That's going to be like another 100 gold. If you
Does
want.
this
No,
look
never
like
mind
the,
that.
does it look like the Mousetrap board game?
It does a little bit look like the Mousetrap board game.
Comically large
yes.
wheels of cheese.
Yes.
Yeah, some of the Skull Cleaver is with them, along with a bunch of other able-bodied humanoids who are making their way down the street as they run into you, Rock. Do you
There's
just
Bruce.
pass them by?
Wow. Rock, you got here quick.
Yes.
He's
But-
punching
The
Kikatori.
fort's that way. How are you coming from that way?
Oh, Pomine did a thing of he teleported with the horse. It was kind of cool. Where's Bruce?
He's at the punching Kikatorium in the upstairs.
Rock's gone.
Okay.
You say that, Rock takes off flying to the punch.
I kind of look and I say, I'll be back, and I follow after Rock.
Okay.
Okay. Isabel, you run into the same group.
Isabel leisurely strolls into this group. Like, she's not super in the mood for walking. She's never teleported before, so she's just kind of like, oh, this is not
It does a
right.
number on your stomach, too.
Oh, yeah.
You got a sensitive tum-tum teleporting.
She sure
at the group.
does.
How's Dusk? How are you here so soon? Did you ride him back that quickly? He needs time to rest. How dare you? You can't take care of Dusk anymore.
And she'll just like, shh, 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 shh,
I will not be silenced when it comes to matters regarding
like
Dusk.
patting his face, and then she's just gonna.
Oh, some people just can't ride Dusk. They just can't. They can't handle all that horse.
And then
Screw
Dusk
a lot
throws
of
up.
horse-
Oh no, Dusk! Poor baby! Quickly, call the veterinarian. Forget all this. All my
Turns
money.
around and flies back. It's like, no, not Dusk, no.
Another
Horse
110
baby.
gold to fix Dusk.
The campaign is now on hold.
Yeah.
To find a veterinarian that can help Dusk.
Elections on hold. Whatever the main story was, this is now the story.
Yeah, Dusk looks fine now. Looks like maybe
Okay.
they just need
Get
to
it out,
that.
Dusk. I pat his head affectionately.
Good job.
Let it out.
Oh, we all hug Dusk.
So you're all hugging Dusk.
Yes.
Well, I'm flying. I really am flying to the Punch and Gigatorium.
Yeah, and Torsten is running after you.
Yep.
You're hugging Dusk, and Summit Skullcleaver is like, no, hello. All right.
Oh,
Oh.
considering Someth just watched me puke on a guy, like, is he really wanting a hug, or
I guess that's a good point. That's a good point. Yeah.
she'll like do a little like incline of her head, like, hey.
Hey, pardon me for a second.
Yeah, she's having a hard day.
So you are yeah, so Rock, you are speeding by. Torsten is running after you. You make it to the Kick and Punchatorium, and when you come in the first floor, Fairy Eye is there, and Fairy Eye sees you and just points upstairs.
Upstairs.
And you come upstairs, and you see Bruce Killshatter, the former father of the circus. You know, he was the stage dad, is there sitting on the window looking out where we last left him last night. Yeah, just looking out like a little crack in the shutters. And he turns around.
Rock will stop, mostly because she's used to him being such a happy, you know, just like friendly guy, and she sees him, but she sees him brooding, and that's weird. So she stops and she's like, Bruce?
He turns around, and there's looks like a moment of a smile goes across his face, but it's a sad one. And then the scowl kind of returns to his face. And he walks forward towards you, not threateningly, but with purpose as he makes his way towards you. And he says, Rock, there's
And I
work
hug
to
him.
be done.
I hug him.
And he it's unexpected, and when you hug him, his body does not feel warm the way you would expect it to. It just feels more like you're hugging like a chair almost that's wrapped in cloth. And he has his arms out to his side and very slowly brings them around. And you feel him like soften a little bit, almost like he's collapsing on you for strength and you're collapsing on him. And he says, for them, there's work we have to do.
Bruce, I thought you were dead.
And he says, I think I am.
But you're here, right? You're here, and that's all that matters.
And he like invites you to sit down on the floor with him. And he, pats a mat next to him, a floor mat.
She won't let go for kind of a longer, like he'll try to disengage, and she'll just keep like wings wrapped around him. And he's a half orc, but he's like a full on half orc, so she probably comes up to his armpits. And she's just wrapped, and she says, was there anybody? Did I miss you? Was it my fault? I thought you were all dead.
No, there was nothing you could have done. It's not your fault at all. It's not at all your fault. You shouldn't blame yourself. I'm glad one of us lived to tell the story and to work with me. Rock, I am here, but I am not whole. I am fueled by my hatred for what happened to us. I am fueled by evil thoughts and violence. I am not the Bruce Killshatter you knew.
Okay. Well, whatever you need, whatever I can do. I mean, if whatever I gotta do in order to help, in order to make you whole, that's what we'll do. That's what we gotta do.
Rock, when my work is done, I'm going back. to be with Grak. I was there with her. We were all there in the afterlife. And I know that I don't have much time in this world. I only have time to try to make things right. And then I will leave you again. Will you help me, Rock?
She's like still buried in his chest, and she'll nod and then like hug him a little bit tighter, and then finally let go and I do whatever you need, whatever you want. It's I don't know what's going on. I don't know why you're here. I don't know why you're so mad. I don't know why. I don't understand, but you know, I would do anything. And the chance to have you here for a moment again. That's all I really wanted.
It's good to see you too, Rock.
I miss everyone so much.
Me too.
And she'll hug him again.
And he says, Rock, there is one thing I am sure of. And that is that this life is not the end. You can miss us, but don't miss us forever, because you'll see us in the end.
Okay,
And
that's
a
kind of
good
nice to have you here right now.
Yeah. And I think that's where we'll end today's Demon Plague. We will be joining next week. Everybody get ready for a little bit of a time jump. It's going to be election time. Get ready.
Oh, okay. We just tell everybody about the demon plague and they take it A-okay, or?
Well, no,
So,
we're going to have
what
to...
you're saying is we're starting the next episode in combat as we're fighting Belloc, is what you're saying.
But before we get to all of that, let's quickly go around the table. Let people know where they can find you. Rudy Basso, let's start with you. Where can people find you?
Hey, I'm on Twitter at Rudy Basso. Also check out don'tsplitthepodcast.com. A lot of great, fun shows on there. This stream is also a podcast. Find us on iTunes. Hey, drop a 5-star review if you listen or if you enjoy this. Do both. That'd be great. Yeah, don'tsplitthepodcast.com. Really exciting. Got some new shows in the works. We're really pumped about them. That's all I'll say about that.
Nice. Yes, very excited. Very excited. More to come. And where can people find you, Robert?
You can find me on Twitter at Raddu76. It's RADDU76. You can find me at athos.org and check out the Bone Stone and Obsidian Dark Sun podcast.
Nice. That's awesome. That's awesome. And where can people find you, TK?
I'm just sitting here, I'm like in the middle of that email, being like, trying to type.
Doing work.
It's me. It's TK. And I write spooky stories on the internet. If you like spooky stories, you can check them out. tkjwrites.com or follow me on Twitter. TK joins the fray. I'm in a lot of shows. So my schedule for that is in my pin tweet because I'm not going to take up 6 years saying it here. But I will say that if you like spooky stuff, then you should hang out with me Friday nights on the Wizards D&D channel, where I DM Tales from the Mist, which is a Ravenloft campaign that is set in a setting that is not Barovia.
Does such a place exist? I don't even.
Oh my gosh!
It's pretty great.
Yeah, buy my book. That's it.
Excellent. Buy TK's book. Robert, we already did you. Lauren. Wow, batting 1,000.
That's all right. I'm Lauren Urban. You might know me as Elbow Crazy Online. You can find me as the community manager for D&D Beyond. Yay! Come do stuff on our site. We have a lot of fun. We have a forum. We have more stuff coming up. You can also find me as or Kira on Heroes of the Veil, which comes out on Wednesdays on the D&D Beyond Twitch at 2:00. And I am also the DM for Dungeon Drunks, which is a podcast that you can find on Mondays, wherever fine podcasts are sold. I'm also a professional musician in the Seattle area. If you happen to be in a class that's learning about African American composers, I am actually performing Wednesday morning. We're doing an orchestra concert of all African American composers tomorrow morning. So hey, if you happen to be a 5th grader in the Seattle area, you might come hear me playing some awesome compositions tomorrow.
Also, why are you watching this?
Because sometimes you need D&D and music in your life, and
how dare you judge our audience?
Exactly.
Please don't stop watching this show.
Please join us for D&D and also join us for awesome composers. And you can follow me on Twitter at OboCrazy, where I post about all those things.
Excellent. That is awesome. And I'm in all of the same places as Rudy. I'm James Intricasso on Twitter. You can also check out some game design stuff I'm doing over at worldbuilderblog.com. People, just so you know, hit that follow button up here.
Yeah, smash it.
There's about to be some more cool shows happening right here on this Twitch channel. We're definitely going to want to see, like Tales from Moxbury, which is an awesome Blades in the Dark actual.
Yeah, oh yeah, sorry, I should mention I am guesting on that in their current story arc. So if you go to geekspective.com, you can listen to that. It's a lot of fun. Blades of the Dark is such a narrative-focused kind of game that it works perfectly as an AP. So give it a listen.
Nice.
Tales from Moxbury.
Boom. So yeah, check that out. And this exists as a podcast, as Rudy said. So if you want to catch up, or if you've got friends who want to listen, it's a perfect way to catch up. It's edited. They're hour-long episodes, so they're easy to listen to. It is really well done and great. So definitely check that out. And please, come tell friends about the show. Let them know that you love what we've been putting down. I want to send a special shout out to Zoltar81, who gave Torsten a free success. So Torsten, that is for you.
Yay!
Use that when telling the people about how 7 people have the Demonplague, and it'll be okay.
Might come in handy when you need to make some sort of election speech. Yes.
Can I give one more shout out to a podcast that just launched today? Worlds Apart is a really fun Dungeons and Dragons YouTube show, and the first episode of their podcast version, which I edited, came out today. So if you want more D&D, really great characters, really funny, great role playing, great storytelling. James Hake, Joey Hake, friend of the show. Maybe future guest. We'll see. And his crew. Great show. Worlds Apart.
Yeah, definitely. So check out all of these wonderful things. It's a great community. I could wax poetic about the Dungeons and Dragons and RPG community forever.
I'll stop.
So the last thing I'm going to say is the Reach of Titan Kickstarter launched today. And I'm a stretch goal in it, so you can check it out. It is a game where you fight really big monsters. So go check it out. Search for Reach of Titan. It's from Third Act Publishing, who has put out a bunch of other great games. Thank you all so much for watching, and remember, don't let the demons bite, Rudy.
Oh, all right. Bye.
Bye.